All right, so if you're watching these videos in order, you've watched, let me get rid of that. You've watched the distributive property video, and then you watched a combining like terms video. And now what we're going to do, and this is designed to be used for my flipped classroom, and there is going to be a worksheet that goes with this that you do after watching this. But if you're not doing that and you're just watching this as a resource, this is just basically practice with using both in the same expression. And notice I said expression because these are not equations yet. We haven't gotten to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some examples. So let's look at this first one. And so usually what I do when I write these out is I just kind of go left to right. I write them out. And then I'll stay with yellow. And then what I do is I bring down the things I know that don't need to be simplified yet. And then I expand on the things I do need to. So when I look at this, I know I'm going to have to expand this. So I got positive 7. That's going to multiply by both of these. So let's start by rewriting this as 9 because we didn't do anything to 9. We're just writing it down. 9 plus, well, 7 times x is 7x. And I'm going to distribute that 7 to the negative 2 as well. So 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. All right. So you've got 9, 7x, and 14. Well, what can I combine in that? Well, I've got a 9, that's a constant. I've got a 7x, that is a variable. And then I've got a negative 14, that's a constant. So I can combine those two. So 9 plus negative 14 gives me negative 5. And then I can take my plus 7x, and there was nothing else to combine it with. And then this is basically what I wind up with for my finished expression is negative 5 plus 7x. Or if I want to write it properly, 7x minus 5. But both are correct. It doesn't matter. Next problem, all right? So let's take this, and the first thing I want to do is I want to expand it out. And I am going to expand it in white. So I'm going to go, all right, so this is saying it's equal to 5x. Then I'm going to expand with my positive 6 multiplying by both of these terms. So positive 6 times x is just plus 6x. Positive 6 times positive 2 is 12. All right, and then I'm going to take this and I am going to look at what I can combine. So let's use yellow for my variables. So I've got 5x, which is going to be positive, and I've got 6x. So those can combine to 11x. And then that 12 is just kind of off by itself. There's no variables to combine that with. So my finished answer is 11x plus 12. So what you're doing on these is you're expanding on the distributive property, and then you are adding things that you can add. You're combining like terms, and again, like terms are only things that can be combined because they're similar to each other. All right, so let's expand this out. All right, so we've got negative 2 is going to multiply by both of these things, so let's do that first. So negative 2 times 9a gives us negative 18a, and then negative 2, and remember, you got to include that negative, times positive 8 is negative 16. So I just took care of this whole thing. And then I've got 4 times a, positive 4 times positive a, so it's plus 4a. And then I've got positive 4 times positive 1, which is plus 4. So on this one, I got a little bit of combining to do with both things. I've got an a term right here, and I've got another a term right here. Okay, so negative 18a plus positive 4a is going to give me negative 14a. All right, and then with my numbers, my constants, I have negative 16 and I have positive 4. And if I combine those, I would get negative 12. And that is my finished answer. All right, so last example here. Hopefully this is starting to make some sense. Feel free to pause the video if you want at any time to try and do it yourself, and then come back. All right, so let's break this open first. All right, so we got the 6, and the 6 is multiplying by both of these terms. So 6 times n is 6n, And then I have 6 times negative 2. So that's minus 12 because 6 times 2 is 12. Positive times negative. All right, next I have negative 7 times 1. So that's negative 7. And then I have negative 7 times 2n. So that's negative 14n. So I've got 2 of each term in here, right? I've got 2 n terms, and then I've got 2 constants. So as long as I'm in red, let's do our constants first. So negative 12 and negative 7, they're both negative. So you add them up, and that gives you negative 19. And you keep the common sign when you do that. And then for our yellow terms, you have 6, positive 6n, and negative 14n. So the deal with that is if it's negative and it looks larger, like the absolute value of it's larger, you go 14 minus 6. That gives you 8n, and then you keep the negative sign because it was larger. So this is our finished answer. So hopefully, if nothing else, this is sort of giving you a little bit of a reminder of how these kind of problems work, and just, you know, putting everything together that you've learned, you know, through the last couple years. And this should just be a review. If you're seeing this for the first time, like I said, that worksheet that is meant to go with this will be a great review for you. So good luck with that.